Jaden Adams, straight red card.
There's no consistency in the starting lineup.
Kaizer Chiefs, 3 back-to-back league losses.
Remember, Pirates were second from bottom?
Yeah.
Forget the coaches, forget everyone. Right now, it's all about us.
Yesterday, it was a game that was played at a wet surface.
I saw his fury.
Jaden Adams, straight red card.
There's no consistency in the starting lineup.
Greetings and welcome to episode 1 of the Betway Premiership Review Show. This is where we go through the slip that you would have seen a Sky go through on the Betway Premiership Preview Show. But this time we're going to do things a little bit differently because in the last episode we had not Sky against Ubeti, we had Usky against Brighton. My name is Mpoma Boy. Yes, sir.
There was Uspagaba.
Yes, Uspagaba. Yes. My name is Mpoma Boy. As you can tell, I am not rolling solo. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the Betway Premiership Preview Show squad without Umalum BBK as well as Brighton. I'm not even going to introduce them like we normally do because we just have to get straight into it. Yes. So we had a full round of fixtures midweek. Malume, let me start with you. At the end of it, after 2-1 wins apiece, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns still at the very top. But of course, the big talking point of the midweek matches, Kaizer Chiefs, 3 back-to-back league losses. But at least this time, the coaches didn't apologize.
Pezul. Zintanganye.
Kote
manenginiki indala zombili mnikisongo lakhe sobona khona ukuthi ubani ozogoba ubona. Perfectly, the situation is dire.
Yeah.
I think we pick up on what we did refer to on the preview show.
Yeah.
There comes a time when a team goes through situations like what Kaizer Chiefs go through, when doubts starts to creep in. When players' chemistry starts to fade away. Where players then start to go beyond looking at themselves and then maybe try to look in the direction of the technical department. And this is not discord. This is we've been here before. We thought we were coming out of this. We thought we started this season well. I mean, the first 3 games, they were top of the log. Remember, Pirates were second from bottom. The pendulum have swung. How things have changed. And now, at the back of their minds, are we going back to the thing of fighting to be in the top 8? And you know, these kids and the guys and the banter and all that, they're saying whoever is in number 9 position must worry because Chiefs are coming back there. But you have to see a situation where something big needs to happen at Buffalo.
You're talking about something big that needs to happen. Last season, it was Nazruddin Nabi who was blamed, right, in inverted commas. And then came in the co-coaches. We saw them doing very, very well. But now, I don't know whether the wheels are coming off or are we lacking some form of consistency?
I'd like to echo the same sentiments as Umalum in terms of the situation being dire, and mainly because of, I think more than anything else, there's no personality, there's no confidence within the structures of the club.
When you say no personality, what
so
do you mean?
in playing personnel as well. There are situations where when things are that tough, you need to rise above. You need to take it upon yourself. The honors are with the players right now to say, guys, you know what? We started quite well. Things are not going well for us. The last time we broke the spell as a cup trophy was last year, after 10 years, right? So after doing so, you need to tell yourself that we can do it again. We can do better. But all of that, it's all about us rallying together as a team to say, guys, forget the coaches, forget everyone. Right now, it's all about us. We owe it to our fans. We owe it to ourselves, in fact, to perform at our utmost best. But also, I think the technical team is not doing justice as well when it comes to that situation. Why I say that? There's no consistency in the starting lineup. You don't understand whether they're coming or going. And it seems like now, every scream, every shout, the noise from outside, it's also affecting them. And it's affecting their decision making. Because now you can tell with the decision that they're making, it seems like it's emotional decisions. For example, Inacio Miguel, he was out for the longest time, right? He plays the derby. And then you drop him to the bench. I personally feel like as a senior player, we brought him as a senior figure to come and stabilize.
Only he didn't drop him. He actually broke down. He got injured in the warm-up before Richards Bay. But to your point, you find a situation where you make 5 changes to the game that you lost before. And you play derby, you lose in the manner you lost, you bring in 5 changes into it. And to be honest as well, they've also had rotten luck when it comes to injuries. You've got your Cross who's been out, you've got several players, but also one who has not played for the longest of time, who was signed injured and kept on getting injured on the training again, the left back, Shinga,
and he
plays
got
on
injured
his
again.
debut and he gets
injured again.
Maybe also there is a thing as to how do we train? You know, it reminds me, sorry to go to England, there was a time where Liverpool had players falling off almost every game, you know, and it was mainly when they did their fact-finding. It pointed to the training regimen, and they changed that, and they sort of like, I don't know whether they are going through the same thing.
Us right now with Madrid, it's the same thing where everyone is crying, with Magafika ACL. But that's not the point, Gakulumpo. The point here that we're trying to emphasize is that there has to be better team cohesion. And how do you build that? The chemistry, consistency in terms of the starting lineup. When you make those changes, let there be changes, mainly forced injury changes. However, trust in the process, believe in it. We always talk about trusting the process, but it seems like now the club did trust the process by believing in the 2 coaches. But are the 2 coaches trusting in what they're trying to do? Because you play one player, you play Vilagaz or Umtutuzi Shabalala. He has one game, it's bad, but it's not bad. He's missing chances, yes. However, bring him back again, let him play, because last season he was one of their star performers.
But here's my thing, right? When you have 2 people at the helm of such a massive team, it then also begs the question, and we've said it so many times, who do the players listen to? Because, one, you're not only listening to the coaches, as you've rightfully said, you're also listening to the opinions of the supporters, and Kaizer Chiefs being the big club that they are, there are too many opinions. As it is, you're talking about a lack of consistency. Let's talk about the lack of consistency when it comes to defensive, and most importantly, when it comes to you in the goalkeeping department. Because when Bruce came in for the derby, I didn't like hearing people saying, it means we've won. I'm a Pagania.
I mean, I think against Richards Bay, he had a fairly good game. The score would have been a larger margin. I think at the end as well, he pulled brilliant triple saves. It's just a matter of confidence. I understand where the fans are coming from. You know, they got used to Brandon keeping clean sheets and so forth, but also he also considered before he got injured. You know, I think chain of command is very much important, like you rightfully say. And I think Coach Cedric Kaze came out to say, I'm in charge. So it's just a matter of now imposing themselves. Because I look at that bench, the only person that's giving the players, you know, the confidence, I think it's Coach Mazogi, the goalkeeper coach, you know. Other than that, I feel like it's too casual, it's too relaxed. Maybe that's their personality. We cannot fault them to become people that are just loud and be your Jürgen Klopps and all of that. But I just need, you know, that impetus, that force, man. Someone who's gonna say, "Hey guys, we have to." You know, when you look at Coach Cardoso, the touchline, there are moments where he gets up and you can tell that, okay, now things shit is real.
You know the co-coaching thing, blaming it on that is one disingenuous because you made the decision. Remember, I wrote the story that a decision has been made that Nabi and his technical team are leaving. But then there was a delay, and then the conversations in the end went out with Nabi leaving. But co-coaching, guys, come on, we've seen it work before. We saw it with Miguel Cardoso and Neil Tovi at Sundowns.
Kamondi.
What did I say?
Miguel Cardoso.
Coach Cardoso. Miguel Kumondi, before he said it was a good game again. So Kamondi and Tovi, we saw it work. And even the same Sundowns, Mangoba and Rulani, with the one having the final say, but it has worked.
DK, Donald Kuse, Dr. Kumalo, in fact, at Kaizer Chiefs, because now we're talking about Kaizer Chiefs. DK, they brought the title as well. You know, so there's so much with what Umalume is saying. We can talk about, but this co-coaching thing, we made the decision, we stick by it. Now, the owners must allow with the players as well.
Yeah, but the question is, do these co-coaches have the requisite aptitude?
That's the big question.
Like Kaizer?
That's a big question. Coming back to your slip, what did you say?
I thought you're going to job see pass
we are here to review the slip. You placed
We're
the
not
slip.
letting you off.
What did you
guys.
bet when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs and Richards Bay, and how did you do?
I honestly, I was rooting for Kaizer Chiefs. I said Chiefs or draw. To a point that at the end of the show, I even wanted to change and say Chiefs straight. I said.
So in a nutshell, you lost you got a red apple.
This one. Okay. With Kaizer Chiefs, ne?
All right.
Yeah, it was draw.
Thank you.
That's all we needed to know. Let's move on to your team. Orlando Pirates beating Polokwane City. Of course, we saw the player of the month, Relebohile Mofokeng, opening the scoring. How important has he been, especially now in his new position?
Very important. I think also leading up to the World Cup as well. It gives us as South Africans so much joy, you know, and the confidence, because we saw how he hit a dip in terms of form, and there were a lot of talks about him leaving. There were a lot of talks with regards to, you know, his psyche is in the right space, you know. And credit to the team, because it did so well in protecting him, shielding him away from all these talks, and helping him as well in terms of, you know, having, you know, seeing someone who's going to encourage him to bring him back to his best, and to see him perform there. I think Coach Wadu has done something special, because yes, there were talks that let's try Relay as a 10, and then people were like, we're not sure, because we saw Relay breaking into the scene as a winger, you know, and occupying that position for me, breaking the lines. I think it's been a wonder kid for Orlando Pirates.
We are, of course, talking about the title chase. I heard Coach Mangoba Mngiti yesterday saying, yes, what Pirates is bringing is all good and well, but when you look at squad depth, Mamelodi Sundowns is most possibly going to be the team that wins it yet again, looking at squad depth. What say you to that?
I would say that also Orlando Pirates is not short in terms of players, in terms of quality, for them to maintain this push that they have for this title race. Here is the problem. The problem here is that you play a Kaizer Chiefs, you create so many chances. You could have easily put half a dozen. You did not. You kept it at 3. Again, same thing. I mean, first half, Sundowns was playing against the Polokwane City. I mean, Pirates were playing against the Polokwane City goalkeeper. Makobela made brilliant saves. Evidence, one-on-one. Because of if they are former player, Posio Napolis, who's also been a pivotal for a Pirates' push on this challenge. He also had several chances being saved by the guy. But by the time Polokwane scores, so late in the game, that game ends in a draw, and Sundowns are doing their thing against the golden arrows, the pendulum swings. So when you get Pirates coming through, being able to grind those results. There's games that they have not been perfect. They were able to get the results. Yesterday, it was a game that was played at a wet surface. The conditions were not conducive, but Orlando Pirates wasted several chances. That prolificacy that they have, wastefulness, when they continue doing that, it's going to catch up, because the way that these teams are neck and neck, it's a question of who is going to play first. And ultimately, this league may be decided on goal difference. So when you don't score your goals, you have issues.
And it was good, Malume, sorry, Paul. Like, it was good to witness such a reaction from Orlando Pirates, because bear in mind that after winning a derby, a big of that magnitude, with that kind of scoreline, the game of that magnitude. Apologies, I wanted to use that. So a game of that magnitude with that scoreline. You know, sometimes complacency creeps in. The next game becomes very difficult. It's always the hardest for coaches, you know, because there's no motivation. How do you motivate them after such a win? And you're going to find players who want to come in a bit sluggish, a bit lethargic as well. Not you know, given the fact that we've arrived. And for Pirates to grind a result out of that, I think it was brilliant for me. But what was distasteful for me was hearing Coach Puti's comments with regards to saying, if Pirates can play like that, he doesn't see them as a championship team. I love Polokwane City, I love Coach Puti Mehafi, but I think those comments were unfounded, mainly because of, at the end of the day, when you play football, it's all about results. For him, losing the game, and
but you also want to get into your opposition's mind.
No. with that being said, if you get into oppositions, man, Polokwane City is not competing with Pirates right now. If it was Miguel Cardoso saying that, I would understand.
Okay.
You just played against Orlando Pirates. They beat you home. They beat you away. And you're going to say they can't win a championship with that kind of performance. It was a bit worrying.
I want to quickly go back to your earlier point.
Yeah.
You're doing your coaching badges, right?
Yeah.
When you get a job and your players win a big match, a match of that magnitude,
Yeah.
and they are lethargic in the next game, you show them the door. Especially if they are chasing a league title that they failed to win in the 3 years.
Yeah.
You don't beat Kaizer Chiefs and then you think that you've arrived. You never arrive. You're only as good as your next performance.
Yeah.
It is called consistency. It is called pushing.
Of which that's what we saw. It hasn't been happening in over the years.
Okay, I have to bring in the other team that is also in the title chase because that's also a big talking point. The fact that you made because I'm sure they are neck and neck, right? So I asked Coach Miguel Cardoso Izolo how important goals are going to be.
And how did it go?
He said they're not very important.
And how did it go?
He said they're not very
Our
important.
drama queen. Oh my God.
Man. Can I complete my voice?
Sorry.
So the coach said he's not necessarily worried about goals. He is worried about points at this point in time.
Yes.
But when a goal was disallowed, I saw his fury, his anger, meaning goals are important.
He's going to say those things because he's trying to deflect.
Deflect,
He had every right under the sun to be mad with the officiating that happened in that game. Number one, Jaden Adams, straight red card on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
He cannot put that on. But the goal Yaga Reyners, offside. Hello, I got a call from Stevie Wonder. Said I saw that. Straight up, there's no offside there. And again,
I'm catching feelings here.
The penalty, there was no penalty there. You look at that thing, and the West, give referee something. The guy is here. The assistant referee is here.
Yeah.
He saw that. The ball did not even hit his hand. It hit his forehead, which is why it changed direction. If you saw that, well, we're sitting at home, we have the benefits of the slow-mo. But this is the reason why you are officiating, to make sure that you eat your carrots, you can see everything. Contrast that to a decision that happened with Pirates. Something similar happened. Pirates think that they have a penalty. And the referee, the assistant on this side, the referee had given it. He called it, no, it did not hit him. And when you saw in the slow-mo, it hit his body before it went to the hand. It can never be a penalty.
That's why Coach Miguel said South Africa needs to decide on the kind of football that they want.
Look, I wouldn't blame Coach Cardoso. Things are heating up. And at the end of the day, contrary to what I said earlier with Polokwane City saying what they said, with Coach Cardoso, it's allowed. You know, it's emotions that's saying, up there, it's hot, neck and neck. And at the end of the day, him talking about points being important, I get the sense that he's playing that mind game to say, I know either way, someone's going to drop points. So points, I need to collect points at the end of the day. You can collect all the goals, only to find out you slip up. We saw last night the EPL, the tide changed again, where Man City, they dropped points, where everyone was hoping that, okay, they're going to push Arsenal, then Arsenal won. So I see the similar happening even here with us, whereby it's just going to be a game of fine margin. Goals, not so much. It's going to be about who's going to drop the points.
The ability to control the tempo for Mamelodi Sundowns, I see they are still perfecting that. But something else they seem to be perfecting, and they did that very well against Orlando Pirates, the offside trap. They seem to be utilizing that a lot, and they are getting better.
I wouldn't bank on that.
At it.
We just complain about the officiating. They themselves are complaining about officiating. So I wouldn't bank on that. I think...
But they're doing it well, and they're being consistent at it.
You know, it gets to a point where you do it well up until where it matters the most. That one chance.
Okay.
Ask Hansi Flick. He'll tell you about that.
Okay, come back to your slip.
My slip,
what
Pirates
did you
won.
bet? Pirates against Polokwane City? Okay, and then Mamelodi Sundowns against Arrows?
I was doing the calling game. I want to be my room.
Wait. Let me remind him.
What am I doing?
He had a makarapa, and he put it on, and it was a golden arrows makarapa.
Yes.
Let's move.
And he said his friends of.
Let's move.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't to be. But what I loved about Golden Arrows as well, still showed up, still played. You know, I think Coach Mangoba is doing exceptionally well. Sere Dion, Malume spoke about Sere Junior Dion. he's one of the players
He
that
was
I see.
throttled though yesterday.
But he scored.
Well, for penalty.
What matters the
Or
most?
for penalty,
And
though.
I want my player to do that, to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And now he's reached double digits.
Sure.
But when in open play, he was taken out of the game.
Yeah, he was. I mean, you play against Mamelodi Sundowns, but at the end of the day, he's sitting up top there with.
Whether the penalty was controversial or not, it's taken into time. For the first time, we've got someone who's got 10 goals.
So let's talk a little bit about Munapule Saleng while we're talking about footballers, right? His impact in the game, we know he's one of the best wingers in the game.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to bring to Mamelodi Sundowns?
Sundowns are quite happy that he's brought to them what he used to give against them.
Yeah.
When he was at Orlando Pirates.
True.
He is a player. I'm happy to see him back playing football. I'm happy to see him smiling, flashing. Is it a cold suit? I don't know. But to see Munapule Saleng happy playing football, making contributions to goal, making assists, it is something that is going to add more spice to this title chase. Imagine if at the end, the Pirates were not going to be able to win it because Sundowns wins it on a goal difference, a goal that's scored by Saleng. It is the most amazing thing that could happen.
I know why Malume is doing that. Exactly. I was about to say.
Right, come on.
I like that, Malume, because I think a couple of weeks back, prior to the Sundowns Pirates game, I did the combined starting lineup, and everyone was like, okay, I included Saleng there, combined starting lineup. It's so beautiful to see. And also, I think credit must also go to both clubs, who put their pride and egos aside to make sure that this deal happens for the boy just to progress, because it was sad to see what he was going through. But what excites me the most, again, is that Coach Hugo Bruce is watching. He loves Saleng. He loves Saleng. This is a player that I believe will also make a difference going to the World Cup as well, given the opportunity if he performs. Obviously, you go there by merit. All he has to do just continue playing and command that starting berth. But starting berth doesn't say much. I think contribution, that's what means a lot for everyone. So the way he's performing right now, I'm so happy for him.
And speaking of these two clubs, it's been happening with big name players. Pirates Sundowns,
So Villarasi,
So it was after you came. But before...
Cheese Boy, Giftly Remy.
Gents, can we come back to...
Malume.
Can we come back to midweek matches?
Okay, midweek.
Okay, because I'm running out of time.
Sorry.
And I need to get to this point. Durban City. I never expected it. I don't think they expected it. They are now in the top 4. The big question to everybody becomes, was Gavin the issue? Was Ernst Middendorp the issue? They both leave the club and the team seems to be performing.
Who is the coach now?
I think it's also co-thing there, but Coach Simo. Is it Coach Simo?
Was it not with them when they were in the...
Yeah, he was.
So the point I'm driving to here, there needs to come a time at some stage for South African teams that trust the coaches who helped them to gain promotion. Magesi did that with Clinton. He wins them a trophy. A week after winning them the trophy, they get rid of him. Look at where they are now. The lights are out. I'm trying to say, had maybe they left it because he understands the team. Because Kadodia goes and gets a Kevin. And then when he lets go of a Kevin, he says Kevin is still stuck in dark ages, does not believe in technology. You hired him knowing that very well. So if you had stuck with Udladla Umkabateli, maybe you would even be in the top 2. I'm not saying that will be the case, but the players know him, they respond to him, they understand his tactics. Long may it continue.
So actually, for our point of correction, I get no Simo Dladla, ne?
Yes.
Coach Simo went to Amazon, he's the assistant
to
So now it's Coach Pizzo Dladla, also sibling.
They also work together.
They worked together.
When
So
they were
Coach Pizzo, but to come back to your question, I think Coach Kevin laid a good foundation. They were not doing bad when he was there.
Oh, they were number 8.
They were not doing bad. So it's just a continuity. Also, you must remember with players, what matters the most is the preseason. If you have a good preseason, it sets you up for a good season. So I think Durban City, they're going about their business very quietly, very well. Their playing model is exciting. Playing good patterns as well, in triangulations as well. The transition, the solid defense because they're very rigid. They don't bombard like, lose their heads. They're very compact, very rigid. They defend in numbers around the ball as well. And the counter-pressing, it's what impressed me the most because, one thing I've picked up, Malum.
I need you to go
I'm zoti fast, two teams that play almost similar football. TS Galaxy and Sekhukhune. And a lot of teams, they struggle playing against them because they play with good intensity and counter-pressing, and they're very aggressive. If you are able to match that pound for pound, you've cut out your job. And that's what Durban City has done.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's go through the rest of your slip. In totality, how many red apples did you get?
Maning, Kobe.
Oh, okay.
Kobe. So the big red apple that we'll talk about is the team that I just mentioned now, Uskucha and Sugazovic. A huge surprise. No one saw that coming. And we had initially thought they'll win that game.
I say you.
I was about to
It's I.
It's your slip.
Mina, Brighton Joman, 6 Mabon and Mklongo.
It's your slip.
Manu ngangithe mina silento siyenza bothe yinde yangoma yakhe kaMalume lesi2 ithi inde yangoma konje Malume
Together.
khona Malume.
Together as one.
Hayi khona ingoma yakhe Malume.
Skat sampo siyahamba.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Angijikele Malume namhlanje.
Ngiyabonga.
Ngiyabona ke lento.
Ngiyabonga.
Sky Brawam, buya Brawam.
Sky, if I'm not mistaken, got only 3 red apples.
Then he's worse than me.
What do you mean?
He's worse.
Oh, okay. Sizobona who was worse than the other one.
Lisa,
We'll check out the 2 slips on social media. I'm sure the team will place them there so that you can see them. This was the first episode of the Betway Premiership Review Show. We will see you on the preview show on the 12th of this month. From us, toodles!
Bye-bye.
Forever. Angijikele Malume.
Hayi, sana wethu.